smart guy looking at me with the glasses. All right. How about lady over there in the red? Great. Let's see how far we can get this. Guy with the yellow hat at the cash register. Can you hear me? Yes, you can. All right. Thank you.
I'm fine, thanks.
Hello to everyone within earshot. The faces you're going to see tonight and the poems you're going to hear represent the efforts of the Pittsburgh Outcast Poets. Yes. I think I'm up here first because we're looking to start with our strangest verse. It's going to get cleaner there. And anyone who's actually going to come up and share their voice Alright, this is the first public performance. This is called The Cage of Merit. You awake to the somnolent scratchings of questions on the wall, apocryphal wisdoms from deep lying sleep. That's all you remember is your spitting teeth in the sink and comparing your beard to the gray memory of your father, giving your reflection of his knowing winks. You rub eyes on the bed edge of a mortgaged reality, a prison that lets you out each day. It's a joke, laughing from the vacancy of objectified perspective when you're imprisoned again at the end, always. You must be certain to remember a prayer for wisdom, for rigor of soul, before even looking towards the door. Shield your chest in 3 layers of cased fruits. Eat a good breakfast. Facing insect odds, put your best tie on. Witchcraft over the sink for an hour in ablutions, trimming nails, violent salutations, your cordial evasions for predictable encounter first and last. Convinced to heart verbatim that red line quote from Beyond Good and Evil yesterday, forget about the pieces of dreams that hovered over morning cereal. Drive carefully, harm no one along the way, read the advertising of doubt. Draw least attention, shadow your own reflection, but amuse yourself, appreciate the rules. Shrive yourself of the losers and of your id, residual of high school, be cool, a convincing poser. Splinter your thoughts off from actual conversation, do not discuss your shrine. Forget the Nietzsche line, you don't need it, not our ally. Go home now. You wore the mask they trust. You were a comfort to others. Scratch that wall, suggestions for mine, and go to bed. Dream of mother, echo another generation in your brain of time.
Jason, you want to read Pap.
That's right. We're the Pittsburgh Outcast Poets. We just a bunch of kids. We're a bunch of people like brain candy. Words that need everybody comes up with writing. I said it's not worth writing if you just keep it to yourself. Because you need an outlet. My name is Ray, and this is called Destitute. While driving around my consciousness late one Friday night, I was distracted by a burgeoning void in my mind. I took my eyes off the road to gawk and lost control. While in that pre-collision, anxious, time-frozen moment, I realized that the void wasn't really there. Put my eyes back on the road, gripped the wheel tightly, bit my lip, recovered, and kept on going. Because after all, it is life.
all my pages are already covered margin to margin, scrawled into view, and in the blue parallel lines on all the empty pages I see your face, smiling from the recess, half bringing boots to the meditation, half satiated arches and leering when you tap my ashes into a hurricane. You taught me to breathe, blow my heart to its stop. You taught me to see it in these moments now, how to keep breathing, even after I burn myself to death, so that even when I am ashes, my heart still beats, intact and inviolable. And although you are sometimes an entire book of matches igniting, this you can't consider. Can you hear me?
Louder.
Okay, my name's Katie. This is a poem for a girl that I didn't really like. Jessica, you've been dead for half a year. We were never friends, although I sometimes thought your older sister was mine, but mostly she was my boyfriend's friend. And when I met you for the first time, he hugged you, and I wanted to slap you. I know your sister, Katie O, often wanted to do the same, and you were the reason she left home. God, at 16, you were unbearable, and we at 20 were embarrassed we couldn't handle you. Jessica, you've been dead for half a year, and I know Katie O cried all the way back from Mexico on her way to your funeral. Even though I was only 400 miles away, I didn't go, but your sister hated me for what I did to the guy you hugged. But everyone knows funerals are for the living, and I had my own problems. Your death helped me lose the man I loved. I couldn't come home. He couldn't deal with me and you, and I lost my grip on him. Jessica, you've been dead for half a year. I don't really care anymore, but I do wonder, what was it like that morning waking up? Did your subconscious add death to your to-do list? Did time slow down as you rounded the curve in that car you got the week before? Did you know you crashed in front of my first boyfriend's house? When the EMTs got there, you were still breathing, but they couldn't save you. Did you know the strangers who wept and held you as you slipped away? Did you think of someone else's arms, your mother's, your sister's, the men who mourn you still? Or were you already gone, deep inside, where you died alone?
Let's start off with a poem. Can everybody hear me good? People in the back? Great. Let's start off with a poem about my grandfather. It's one of my more favorite poems about my grandfather, and people seem to like it. Good man, the beautiful, talented, this is called Just One More Than Many.
A little louder, please.
Oh, a little bit louder? I can do that. Well, how can anybody know how special you truly are unless you stick out? People will just breeze over you, never look twice, most won't look once, or give a second thought. Why are you not more predominant? If I write to them, will they bold text, underline, italicize your name, make the font size larger? What about a picture? Could they put that? Could they list your many inventions and pictures of your workshop, your basement? Could they picture your hands, shaking hands upon hands? Could they care more to just put your name and how life happens? What about the picture of us when we were but years old, throwing gallons of water around the yard until we soaked our grandmother's house? Or the time you chased me through my house, me screaming for mercy with you knowing my ticklish? Someone took that picture, right? It's just not good. What about the time times of your infancy, and I was only 17. Those days are never worth remembering. But the times you were 50 and I was merely an infatuated boy at 13 hearing of your stories of poverty and poetry. The picture from the studio with the whole family. Or the photo from Hawaii with the many layer on your necks. Or the photo of your boyhood. At 15, I remember, they said I looked just like you. I could never wait any longer. I knew how handsome you truly were and still are. They could use a photo of me. I still dress like you. Suits from the thrift. Shoes shined with your waxes. Polishes. Your meticulousness of being wonderfully poetic and never even knowing it. Could they have listed your profession? Artist, caretaker, engineer, inventor, husband, father, king, poet, doctor, teacher, student. They still could do it in the picture. You and I played, go fish, everyone was poker. And these are real cigars, now made up of them. This is money, not business cards. This was scotch, not breathing. This is how life works. It's how it works. You quit smoking when I started. You quit writing when I started. You quit living, and how could I without you? Out of the hundreds of names, you were just one, none of them bold or underlined or on italicized, but you should be on top of the list with a picture and a novella stating what you lived for. You were too good for the obituaries, too good for even a billboard, too good for a skywriter. You were too damn good for the heaven you sit in. I wonder what task God is doing for you now. Or is it equal? A handshake and a mutual desire to shine each other's shoes, tie each other's ties. Share stories of a pastime gone off in the memory of the people who dared to love you. Once upon a time, you didn't have to enter their dreams to let them. When you could talk face to face and not through the confines of secret others and meditations. Thank you for filling my slumber.
I'm good. When I heard Dylan speak of shallow angels, I knew he had mastered me. I was weak with something, wanting something more. Desire fueling my movements, forcing me to follow images that stripped from the page and past my stained fingers. I stood on the edge of the cliff, refusing to face the fluid to follow in front of me. I was proud of my passing cruelty and ability to stay untouched. Trying to believe the fire was doing more than playing my tormented music. Trying to believe I was Joan of Arc. Searching outside of the divine, I didn't have visions. I just wanted to be recreating passage water. I wanted to be wild with words and wanderlust, burning so bright the sky was dark and restless. But I became stranded with remote and Africa and disillusionment. Challenging boys to beat me so I could be more than I could have bruised and bloody and better than beautiful. As if ink and ugliness could save me from my sanity. I strove to become the dirty old man because he had flown across the page, but succeeded only in becoming strange and strong and separated. I failed to exist outside my mind, unable to comprehend conversation. I would stutter and stammer, faltering on the translation of the language. I seemed to speak with my hands more than my mouth, so I made myself a martyr instead.
Seem to have come back around again. There's a short story writer out there, well, he's not out there anymore, it's sad to say. It's known as Jorge Luis Borges, although it looks like it's spelled gorgeous. And he's divine. And this is a tribute to the man, from one intellectual to another. It's called Anthropology on Borges. Wake up, old man. This is no eulogy. I have respects to pay for the tailor's pattern of your bones. I'm an earnest fan of the posthumous anthology. It's good we should finally meet. I've already groped about you for many hours in your deep sleep, played jiggly monster with your jowls, and given you numerous possible faces. I've been busy over your body with my pens. I have scribbled you off into portions with labels, and I have made some sense of you, sir. What you modestly preferred as a plain right thumb, I have re-entitled my notion of Borges' thumb. Those lines above your eyes, so long they link your ears in their years, I footnoted transcendental wisdom here. And what you scratched at as if seeking after some muse, recall the navel, I renamed less formally Borges' bosom. As for that thought you considered your silhouette upon the wall, I have myself outlined and measured it, and have found it not so tall, of profounder shape and clever.
I said, this is about something that has something to do with snaking along, endlessly growing, and shrinking. Snaking along, endlessly growing and shrinking. It's truly mind-numbing. Drat, I've been cut off again. It doesn't bother me that he didn't signal, nor that he came within inches of my car. What bothers me is the futility of his action, and ignorance to the fact that he is racing to a stop. This traffic will never end. Every time I move, the distance shrinks. Every time, racing to a stop. This dungeon tortures its prisoners with themselves. In this dungeon there is no air. In this dungeon there is no mercy. Drat, there's been an accident ahead again. It doesn't bother me that they forgot to get their cars out of the road before smashing them together. Nor does it bother me that someone's arm is unwheeling. What bothers me is the futility of me having to look at it. Racing to a stop. Am I home yet? What's that? Never again? Drat. Now someone's screaming again. Get that mangled box of flesh and take this off the road. And let's get a move on, damn it. I hate it when they scream, no one.
The person I am now, things I want, expect, and need? How much of me is you and your leftover desire? How much of me is my clay, and how much is molded by your hands into what you wanted me to be? Have you left your fingerprints on me? The man I love now I'd never loved if you hadn't been first. But you? How much of your today is our yesterday? I know you're with someone new, but whose hand do you sometimes think you hold? The first time with her, did you have to make love with the lights on to see who was really beneath you? Two particles collide, never see each other again, except when they look at themselves, except when they look at the man.
My name is Jason. Hello, my mother. Okay, so yeah, I caught that already. I'm going to switch up from my usual dimness and when I gave everything poetry and read a poem about my little brother, KK. I think everybody else in this room knows KK. Well, the people that came with me, that they came back and know KK. He's just a crazy transsexual kid with really big, swoopy hair and huge earrings and wears makeup, and he's one of my favorites. Earth is what? It's called Kevin Turns. That's what we call him, KJ. Right. I figured you all would get that anyway. So. Kevin was a rock star. He was a porn star. Kevin was Monday's star. A heartbreaker of an irreverent crush. Kevin was a hipster, a smooth cat, flat back, ground shaker, groovy type, wild teenager. Kevin was a youth denied, but love replied with terrible amounts of mad, passionate, kick-tack, turnaround, physical amounts of anarchist glee. This kid was the king, the little prince, the dance magic goblin prince. He held a bed of roses, a placid remark, shot in the dark, a scream in the desolate, silent movies. Yeah, this boy had it all, 400 years in the making, I thought, I think, to this day. Lame history, 12 feet tall, sporting his black, vivid, transsexual attitude towards fashion and hats, large hats, all covered in fruit.
Now I'm going to feel a little bad about this thing. Okay. 19 is waiting for the sun to set. I eat ice cream every night this summer. Liking the way it rolled over my fingers when I lost my concentration. Liking the way the memories rolled with it. Sticky sweet childhood when I was 3 and my father fed me spoonfuls of deceit smearing themselves across my cheeks. I was still new and novel and he didn't mind wiping it away. Daddy's little girl, he had built the world and planted pumpkins in the road. Cabbage Patch doll parties and eating ice cream off his spoon. Time never stops for long and he was someone else. Smuggling bowls of ice cream in the closet, I tried not to hear the tear through the wall, wishing myself away to where I didn't need to play or spin anymore. And simple as that, Daddy became a weekend word, a phantom that existed between Friday and Monday. Passing the years with a vague sense of separation until I was 6 when he told me the bridge we walked across would take quicksand, holding me up by my shoulders, telling me he'd throw me in if I was bad. And I always believed I was bad. Summer got hotter and he laughed and I kept coming. Too young to understand it didn't matter how far I followed him. 7 when he threw away my toys and said the moving men had lost them. As we transfer our sadistic ritual to Puerto Rican shores, he taught me to swim, throwing dinner in the deep end, saying I'd have to die for it. I got ice cream in a stolen car. He was too drunk to notice it was missing, too drunk to remember he gave me the keys, and I was far too young to drive. 3 months a year of guaranteed invisibility taught me to be tough, taught me to feel the ocean at 3 a.m., taught me to climb roofs, jump fences, and walk away from cops with my knife weapon. I learned to sneak in after the sun was up, but before he was, to clip dives, to hide first kisses so there could be a chance for a second. I saw Twister every night for a week so I wouldn't have to put him to bed. He was hard to carry and I didn't understand what he called me mommy. Once a year he'd speak to me in slurred syllables, telling me my future. I said I wanted to be a writer. He said I'd star. He said I wanted to be an astronomer. He said I was too stupid. I said I wanted to be an actor. He said I'd never make it. One conversation a year being torn to my base, a raw child still huddled in the closet of his disillusionment. Next time, I'll tell him I want to be an alcoholic.
This is from a series of what's going to be called marshmallow poetry. It's a little softer. It doesn't require that much work. It's 4 years old in love. Candy comes between us. It's only sticky goo, but we fight. I get you. We both cry. I wish you'd wonder why I'm quiet and learn. I wait to hear my name as you might say it. If only you'd not sing some list or grade it. Someday. When I'm lonely, just for fun, or to get even with my silence, you palter a tongue and run, knowing I'll follow. If you could know I dream when we are silent. We two alone, you sense my sermon without the usual yawn of boredom. You accept my gifts with joy and kindness. You do not swat it down or something. You understand my compliment of choice and love. My orange, my brown, my yellow leaf, the stone side to make a flower. The smooth, warm stone I found for you, or tickleweed to touch your frown. You do not back away or shun. You do not yell, throw sand, and fear my love with yuck and you. I chase to hide the angels were in the still warm inward ghost of you, as if belonging there. I sometimes dream you wake your eyes and see that I look at you at one time, when I can finally freely look. We sleep and dream together, elbows touching side by side, just us walking nowhere, and the twilight sun sometimes.
This is about one of my Lord trained poetry sessions. And it's untitled. I'm on a real roll now. My thoughts are a speeding freight train of TNT heading straight through the emotional brick wall that is. The I give a damn. The why do I care? Kaboom to the room, to the doom, doom, doom. Wonder drugs. Wonderful wonder drugs. The latest drug craze has just hit North America, and the obedient cows submit to their desires to be socially acceptable drug addicts. Migraines have no scientific cause. That's why it's a wonder drug, because it fixes the problems that we can't see. Morphine coffee, that's the ticket. It's so great, if you stop too fast, you die. You die from opiate withdrawal, and you die.
Sorry, is that better?
Yeah.
Hi. This is a poem called Time. She lies spread eagled on the bed, her arms at 9:15. Although she doesn't know it yet, the man beside her is at 6:30. He's like the 6 other men before him. He's thinking of leaving.
Hey, look, I'm going to read a love poem too. Hi. How are the acoustics, John?
Yeah, it's working.
Good. Recently I joined a poetry contest for the Pittsburgh Chamber of Music Symphony, whereas it was the All the World for Love Poetry Contest, and they gave contestants 10 love poems, one of which they had to pick and write a response to. I was very, very touched by a poet named Virgilius Mero, and he wrote a poem called The Wave, and I'll read that, and then I will read my response. So, Virgilius Mero, The Wave. As when far off in the middle of the ocean, a breast-shaped curve of wave begins to whiten and rise above the surface. Then rolling on, gathers and gathers until it reaches land, huge as a mountain, and crashes among the rocks with a prodigious roar. And what was deep comes turning up from the bottom in mighty swirls springtime, every race of people, and all the creatures on earth are in the water, wild animals and flocks, and all the birds in all their repeated colors, all rush to charge into the fire that burns them. Love moves them all. So that. This is one. And, by the way, as it was said about that deep, resolute place, a creation of godlike attributes of beauty and poetry could only be metaphoric as that of a woman's contour. The destitute in icy bottoms of the ocean floor, cold and lifeless, reaching out in that place we have yet to travel, for perhaps it may be true within the love of a woman, such places fail to exist. The placidity of sunlight-warmed, shallow water and caress of silky seaweed can only be juxtaposed with arms ubiquitous to our body, and lips that kiss without lips of skin, but kiss with lips of poetry. The slight touch of femme fingertips made of harps and violins, only lines such wondrousness as sand and beach, could only chill our spines to that deep, magnificent passion of our hearts. Love binds the ocean with sand, and in a constant whisper the waves foul by volumes, and on the listen that entices like to be alone, and the beauty of woman through our forever shifting times. Poetry moves our minds.
Josh's words were we wished we could be. And when he mentioned my lips, part of me wished he wanted them, but only because he was beautiful and I always wanted what I knew I couldn't have. Marty was mesmerizing us with the promise we were gods and dreaming, and Jason had us contemplating poetry, mad with faith and literary injury. We went past 9 and over, swimming through the people who had found us and allowed us to find them, even when we dispersed into discussions of masturbation. Shannon screamed balls, breaking open our societal delusions, turning out to the mic, Adam admitted something to his mother, and gave us figure and mushrooms and missing milk. As KK continued our circle with kindergarten classrooms full of Jesus and hate, till Ray raged and ranted his fury was ringing clear through the Lord, who shaped us all with her sweet sadness and absolute honesty. And we moved to Mo, who moved us with her words and wisdom itself. As Andy admitted to an emotional waterfall that cleansed him and gave us clarity. And Courtney took our circle with his rising voice and his emancipating exploration of life that had Megan finally taking the mic, giving us something of mother, brother, and lover, and what it was like to be broken by all of the above. Until I realized I was in their circle, stuttering with introduction to my admiration to them and what we had created. It was Friday night, and we could have been somewhere else, but we weren't. It wasn't about the parties that happened afterwards, although they always did. We weren't the beat, but we could have been. Andy was our neo-Kerouac who loved everyone in optimism. Jason carried on Ginsberg. He went beyond writing poetry. He was poetry. Existing because it existed, writing because he didn't have any other choice. Broken Dogs for a Sunflower Sutra, inspired constantly by How and Haunted. And Ben was our avenged burrows with hallucinatory words disappearing into theoretical Tangiers, but no longer into addiction. And me? Well, I called myself Cassidy, but that was only wishful thinking. And we weren't the Beats. We were the next step. We were bringing poetry to Pittsburgh. It was Dadaism. It was anarchy at its best. It was equality. It was Friday night. And we could have been somewhere else, but we weren't.
Hey, we have a very, very special guest poet tonight, my sister. She's going to read right now, and then John's going to read.
Okay. Does that matter?
Yeah.
All right. I just wrote this now, but I think it's not. I'm not a poet. I am definitely not one of those amazing minds able to spew a special language from the simple lips without a second thought or consider. No, I'm not a poet. I am a decorator. That's right, my friends, a decorator. I love fabric. Of all sorts, all shapes, every type you can imagine. I may not be able to hang mauve or meal, but Christopher Law and I are soulmates. 12 noon, we combine rubbing shoes with wicker window seats. At 3 p.m., we pull the beach from outside in by painting our walls a faux finish. On Saturday evening, we trade spaces. I combine neutral with calming earth tones, and he clutters the room that tends to fit 8 conversation areas rather than comfortable too. It's okay, Crystal. I'll help you out. I can show you watch books and carpet samples, linoleum. Hell, I can render your dream room by pulling a 3-dimensional mansion from simple squares and a flat box. I love color. I love those fake trees with the Christmas lights wrapped from the base to the leaves. Standing unobtrusively in a corner, I feel a small flick of electricity. Linen and ink. I am like a 10-year-old with a pixie stick inside Bed Bath & Beyond. I draw. I color. I literally get to play every day. Interior motive, watch out. Moved by Meg is taking over. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think I found what I love.
Good one, good one.
This is where I recite alphabet, right? We're all really sensitive to the idea of being judged, and I think the worst part of that is the fact that we really can't control the factors by which we are judged. And that's what this poem is about. I attempt to do just that. It's called Judging People. Judge not by my media, or reputed span of attention. Judge me by the products I actually purchase, by my clothes, which confess not my money, but how much I value its suggestion. Judge by my wrinkles and my stains, for I own an iron, and yes, I am just that clumsy. Judge by my need for less the wiser prisons, by my passionate insistence on the right to learn my own life's lessons. Judge by the books I actually remember, not by my library. I have no clue what half those meant. Judge me by my welcome, forget I even have a hand to grip. Judge by my shoes, their dirt and poverty of scent. That's been the honest state of the ground I walk and sometimes lay in. Judge me by my profanity, I'm living comfortable with it. By my taste and the fact I spurn it. By the small things I say when any topic is open and I could be saying anything. Just by my face someday when it's older, if you must judge me. If you must judge me.
Succumb to cancer. Cut off? Never. That would be insane. Insane to think that someone would say don't drink anymore, that is. Government is fake. It's fake. And it's slave driver saying fees. Democracy doesn't exist. Republics disguised as communists to keep us in chains, and I hate TV and such dark tape books. Eat full talker and die, says Tom Broke Eyes. Honey Chunk calmly informs me that everybody will soon die of cancer. Cancer? Cancer? Is it cell mutation without inhibition? Or a body with such an ego it stops, refuses to stop growing, to stop getting bigger? Tumors are as fashionable as tattoos these days. And wouldn't you know it? Disney just bought them.
that's an anti-personal act. What do you see in me, boy? You who are so solid and centered, you are on the highway to enlightenment, and I'm 4x behind you, stuck in traffic and staring at an accident. Is this a grain of crazy in you? Because I speed when I drive, and I run stop signs in red lights, and I flash my high beams when I'm nervous. My hair is never the same. I wear too much red. I show too much leg. I can I argue. I would leave you for Tory Amos at the sound of one piano note at any given time. I read poetry at 4 a.m. I make fun of the Pope. I make fun of the President. I do not capitalize God, and I do not capitalize I. And you will own me. I wear ridiculous shoes. I wear too much eyeliner. It's there. I play my music too loud. I sing along. I steal matchbooks. I play with fire. I smoke too much. I dance all night. Or I stay up creating sarcastic collages comparing coffee colors into Newsweek until my eyes blur and my hands are coated in glue. I will call you at 2 in the morning on a school night. I am a Scorpio. Thunderstorms turn me on. Like Eve, I drop snakes. I could be utterly contented by warm arms and a calm heartbeat, and passion is as consuming as jealousy, and I can drown the drinks of both. I could be your priestess, your shrink, your shaman, your muse. I could hold your head against my chest and tangle your hair in my fingertips until you fell asleep. If you're lucky, I will let you swallow me whole. But it looks like calm as violet clouds enveloping an orange sunset in your head. Calm as fog at 3 a.m. Calm as full deep breath. And I don't think you really want my fingernails scratching off all your cerebral well-being. Just yet.
Know that love has crossed the line from your healthy, normal relationship to obsession. You find yourself asking, is it selfish to wish that you would die so I could follow you? Last summer, the smell of the sea, where our hair was sticky with salt like our faces, where we built our castle of sand covered in shells, with a stone at a time. And our hands met in the warm water, where we shared a bed that lay 6 inches apart, and I held the wall for comfort, where you hit me for the first, and I hit you for the last.
He asked me to write a poem about perfume. I want to talk about different smells. I can't find it now. There it is. Okay. How I feel about perfume. I'm not trying to belittle anybody's intelligence or anything, but I use a word in here, camera obscura. The little black box inside of the camera. Images are reflected backwards and stuck to the wall of it, and they can't escape. Close your eyes and completely black and get all the imagery with my own personal camera obscura. Eyes closed, and tight as my other sense become. Switching me around inside memories, shadowed light, a camera obscura, complete deprivation of all but one, the single insistent shift in my sense of smell, a droid that take backs, to walk down steps, beds, basements, extreme kisses and body wraps of arms buried deep in a neck, hair, wrist, drowning out the feelings powered by sex and intercourse in my smell. I'm going to read a poem about my mom unless anybody has any objections. What?
No!
Okay, yeah, no. No. I'll read this poem about a tree. It's called Love Poem for a Redwood in California I never saw but I fell in love with on the spot. I've never been to California. I've never seen a redwood, but I saw a picture of my dad looking at a redwood, and that was good enough for me. Yeah. I make reference to the redwood being a fragile morphology to a billion feet high. Out we storm through the wilderness at night, enjoying our victories of campfire seclusion, contemplating a life away from the pressure of the city, replacing the skyscraper office of our cubes and skies with a gradual-sized redwood, ready forever of home from each bone-less branch and leaf. Standing among the outskirts of extravagant roots carrying up the earth, I am the weary of the redwood from toe to head. 1,000-mile stretch of bark that explodes into a visual melisma of star in the sky, into those parts of the night that cannot reach in the city, those parts that can only be reached with nature. This forever standing redwood becomes my forever standing love, for she knows the true meaning of escape by dueling. No buildings, but her trees, no cement, but her grass, and with the far off even magical place of the stars, no sky but her phone.
Yeah. Thank you, Evan.
Post about driving because one of my favorite things to do. His voice alternately dropped from a shriek to a low growl and back to a desperate sob. The radiating sound driving me deeper into my insanity-stripped curves, 5 to 1 and around back to 5. My foot moved the gas pedal, the needle dropped, stance dropped well beyond the law's allowance. Life made more sense at 75 miles per hour as I tried to sputter an explanation for my subtle obsession. We came to the end of my reckless endangerment and spoke syllables that made sense only when backed by Morrison's guttural growl. It didn't matter that we didn't belong. This place, in time, steady continuum. It wasn't important that loneliness stalked us like an insomniac dream, tangible and out of touch. We were felt by the black ribbon that poured under my treacherous tires, and the stressed out song that rolled past my lips and thundered through my perpetually failing speakers.
This one goes through Jason to Nikki because it's my half about perfume. I'm just glad I have a baby and reading too, and I'm open to heckling as well. No.
Good.
No, mom. It's called How Is My Perfume? That smells like apples. Some kind making a pie. One of those cold pies, the little kind that's iced, and you keep them in the freezer. Those cheap pies, fake apples. So he realized she had a fake apple smell about her. This one has a strange little explanation. I had these strangest older couples in my sorority, and they had a very old bird, a parrot. And they used to always make the excuse that they didn't own it first because while you tried to hold conversations in the adjoining room, this bird was obscene. It would curse and yell, and who knew more was going on in that household than his parents. So this is called Sunday. Maybe someday will be filled with only longer scars and the tall, dark moles with hair. You'll have become hairy, wary-eyed for good. The crow has a heavy heel of suspicion already. I expect you'll grow frail, smoking an ever-improved apathy, coughing up a deeper phlegm and painting the nicotine from your nails with polish like dog's tar. You will comment about something I will not even hear. I'll have lost my good looks by some frivolous trade or poor play of the cards. I'll come home with flat pockets and a tired old plate. my mouth stolen and replaced with a puckered O of forgotten sayings. The cat and dog will surely not endure the weight. I will regret your betrayals, you will remind me of mine, the teeth, the untrimmed nails and missing hair. The memories will keep us busy in fate, and then someday the other won't be there.
Love poem. I'm flying high and soaring above, then dying as I confess my love for she who cares and all for me, or even the thought that yearns for she. It's just circumstance, an emotional withdrawal, such a wicked dance, this siren's call. Oh, how I pity foolish me, who wishes for things that can never be. Inside this self-tormented mind, beating each beat within this rhyme, is a repressed and beating heart, longing deeply for her to start, an affair of love, lust or passion, something besides my daily ration of denial and teasing and playful fun, pretending that I could be the one. Just for a moment, then moving along, continuing to walk as I sing a song. Every time it ends the same way, we leave, and I wish to stay, and sneak on in for a surprise kiss, but what if all goes amiss? What if? What if? What if?
Driving home with the windows all the way down and the sheets of rain, afraid to go to speed limit and afraid to go too fast. This is what we are now. You look at me like you're going to rape me, and your fingers slide over the rib cage and they're cold, cold. We stand in your doorway too close to touch, each of us wanting something more, something different, something else. When I pause in my car to change CDs, I look up and you aren't leaning in the doorway anymore. And back out of your driveway, haunted by the impulse to hit your mailbox with your pristine bushes. It used to be so beautiful. They reminded me of Gaia and Uranus, stars and Earth, creating the universe. We look out and see rain and planet, and it's pouring now while I am driven by the irregular rhythm of the windshield flavor, chanting aloud to an indigenous rhythm, trying to transcend the mechanical metronome that can taste the addiction behind my tongue, underneath the scent of America, those wet highways. I can smell it, and I wonder, am I defining my identity by the process of elimination? I feel out of sorts, out of context, out of mind, out of place. I can't remember how I initially act, and I don't want to go back. And look at what I have become. You looked at me, and your eyes were sharp shadows, and I tried to erase them, looking at the stamp of their wild solid. Weighing into each other, their peace like the waving of a sea anemone in the ocean, or the racing tangle of a silver terror in her street. Mad, the windows all the way down, and when I look in the mirror, my reflection doesn't recognize me. She says that my soul was carved into my body like a jack-o'-lantern, and now I am observed as raining and white fatigue. But I look from my reflection to the wild spinning leaves, and I say, it is raining outside. I was there.
This one's called At the Bookstore. Watch with envy the happy couple standing outside the borders of small. You're jealous of their love, their trust, contentment, never thinking of all the things you don't see in that loving affair. The tension in his body as he stands next to her, an unwillingness to relax into old trust. The brittleness of her smile as she knows why he's tense, her hand hanging empty by her side, and before I would have been clasped tightly in his hand, which rests lightly on her shoulder. You see this touch and wish a similar one for yourself, to touch or be touched in love. But what you don't know is that months ago, his arm wrapped firmly around her waist, drawing her close, instead of the hesitant physical question, are you still here? Are you still mine? Are you still the girl I loved? And you don't know that when she bends her head, she's not examining the covers of the reduced-priced book, but instead hiding the pain and shame that crosses her face because she hears his silent question. You see, mistaking his soft expression as he looks at the slope of her neck for tenderness, when really she's verging on apathy for the whole sorry mess this couple has become.
Somebody once forwarded me a top 10 thing on AOL. It was in my mailbox. And it was this thing on POETS. I don't know. It was like number 1, do this, number 2, do that, number 3, do that. And these are all the things that, POETS, something like that. Huh?
What do you stop with?
POETS, that's it. Right. Number 8. Memorize your favorite poem. These are all the 10 steps to enlightenment. So I memorized my favorite poem. It's not mine. What guy named him? Yeah, I know. The dyslexic sentence right there. Here's Bob. I'll call the record too. So this poem's called The Point. Has anybody heard The Point? Some people have. You heard it, John? It's a fun song. She does. Sip of a drink real quick. The point is where we are at is the point of all return. We're at the point where you can see clear through the crystal dyed Pepsi light, transmogrifying your transcendence to that point. Where you prep to the fine point, the dinosaur armored divisions of the National Guard, while picking your teeth with a grenade handle, awaiting the verdict on reality itself, as the gates to the Academy of the future are blown clear off the hinges by the intractable forces of the end of history. I used to be a visual aid. Now, I'm a hospital. It's all right, Mom. I'm only deconstructing. At least the Germans understand. Sandbag the universe, kill the aliens, put the kids on drugs, shave every hair. Hope is a thing called advertising, and poetry, my sweet, is on MTV. That's right. The super poet has devoluted the thought into its molecular construct to pass right through the lead wall of Plato's Republic, the MTVization of poetry. The poeticization of MTV. Which gives, who gives, what gives a but little mo to booty. We rush to rescue something from the burning building and bring it back into the burning world. Let's unionize the poets. Let's stand up because there ain't any chairs to sit down on anyway. I mean, not any real chairs. I mean, they're all being used to pound the brain with some sense it, all sense in, no sense it doesn't make it any more sense. I mean, since nothing comes over the rainbow, Bob Kaufman's head smile is a rainbow. It's the year 2001. You can't put rainbows in your poems anymore. They've evaporated, become ads. Madness has been changed into a new breakfast drink, and it's clear. And that's the point. There's a bunch of poets shuffling off to this land. voices are heard, mouths are propellered open, and people have bad breath. The guy who takes my bottles back at the bodega looks so tired. The picture of the smiling Filipino kid on the landfill over at Jessica Hagedorn's bed. Love comes through the front door without knowing things. The cloak of invisibility is such a great look these days. And a dozen condoms, please, to go. The past is on a rampage, eating itself. You hear about chronicle, they're not tired. No, not them points, but wired. Messages coming through at sudden okay, so I can grab a few of these deposit flips and expat a kiwi fruit and hightail it off to the desert where we stop dead and pray for clear, cold, acid rain. And I am in the love canoe. The windows suck. How's the hurricane gonna get out? The Crystal Light Pepsi is boiling over the refrigerator. Magnets are dangling. I mean dancing. I mean playing. The poignant eating the bugs raw because they are haute cuisine, bro. Fax machines. Who said fax machines? Fax machines are planted above and spilling delicious venom. Oh, the college library is the perfect site for transplanted rainforest habitat celebration center. Are we there yet? No. But we were just there. Is it time yet? Not quite. You just passed it. Past what? You owe past the point all back there always. Notes in your shoes, tacked to your genitals. A list to remind yourself to look at the list. The see-through soft drinks with low-cal alcohol are servicing. It's so pure. Sound is making it back. Because finally, everybody knows that sound means God's wounds bleeding all over the placed point of love caboose. Get the balls, get the shotgun, labia. Demagnetized tapes are a big smash hits now. Listen to pure 0, 0, 0. That's right. We degauss your brain. You are the autopilot. Insert a train of night spots, makes no stops, whatever, wherever, however, whatever you forgot to expressing. What you got left is the point of the point and nothing but the point where something never leads to something else because something is you on the brink of the great abyss. And they are quickly extending the overhang. Hang on, Sloopy. Hang on to that point. Oh, gyroscopic moon, balance point of the wobbling pivot. Graceful non-point, gently pushing us back into the coffin from all directions. Stop me! Before I get to the end.
This poem was in a lot of ways inspired by poems. So, it has nothing to do with subject matter, but there are lines that play off it that kind of think I'm plagiarizing. London Bridge is falling down, collapsing in on the walls of reality. Can you hear it, Lord? Can you hear it, Savior? They are screaming your name in the burning synagogues. They are crying for your outstretched hand, and now I am on the loop of last Buddha. I am on the wheel of time. Can you hear me, Allah? Can you hear me? Jesus Christ is gone now, lost in the oblivion of drifting brown glitter and rusted baby carriages. But where have all the children gone? Climb up to the stars. Hurry! Someone feels grounded. It's everywhere. Oh God, who are you now when it all falls into a tired, sad, eternal moment? It's only insanity. What are you so afraid of? Maybe that you'll be like me, that you'll forget your khakis and your bank account on Fifth Avenue in a dirty trench coat and forge insurance policies. It keeps you a little longer from his hands. It's all right, Cully. Your skulls aren't forgotten. Don't cry, Aphrodite. Your passion will pull through. Hold me, Holy Father. I won't question your hate. It's only understandable that you let us perish in dirty alleyways and screech our pain etched out in the unbroken glare of our children's dying eyes. It's only fair that you let us fall, reeking and screaming into this desperate landfill kingdom of Gaia. Who could ask for anything more? Are you bitter from us now that your praises fall short of the tangible, disappear behind the physics, get lost in the incomprehensible flutter of the green worship of our advertisement Lord and Savior? Are you angry, Jehovah? Are you tired of witnessing our sacrilege? Sundays not belong to the whitewashed walls, the squeaky clean identity of the shopping malls, and the children in the candy stores look so tired. Have they called out to you, O Isis? Did they scream your name when the monster in the bed called out to reveal their father's face? Did you hear them brace? Did you care to stretch out the infinite wisdom we claim to proclaim under the expanding hellish heaven we can't hope for anymore? We never asked for eternity, only one moment in infinity to call our own. So why, Zeus? Why have you torn the poets of my generation from their burning minds and left them to suffocate in your burning world? Holy, holy, holy Ghost, did you send your only son to die in the cold stone steps of the elementary school? Or was crucifixion just too good for us? Did you command that your children be cut down in the echoing hallways of corporate America? Are your followers waiting in riot gear for us to reclaim our destiny? Have you sold your soul for $40 and a handful of magic beans, or maybe just 30 seconds of airtime? We have sacrificed ourselves for your sins, screaming sacred litany on the stone steps of crumbling cathedrals. And where were you when the sky collapsed through the palms of our hands, blood black and blue, and we only prayed for insanity inside our seven deadly sins?
One copy now. I think I agree with that. No explanations. This is called the face of destiny. You're not born into this world responsible for your own fate. You won't leave this world responsible for it either. Your fate will be done for you. But recognize that in the in-between, your face will be responsible for everything that happens to you. You will be held accountable for every smile where the lipstick smeared and your smile went crooked. You will pay in the appearance of years for every frown that caused your dark mascara to bleed and smear your black. Know that the face which you were given, which you've tried so hard all your life to hide, will be responsible for it all. Along with the fact that it is
What's called Vietnam, 1847, so dangerous, but not as dangerous as psychos and coffee shops. Food does not make sense to me. Radar dogs doo-doo on the floor of my newfound eat, shoot, and I forgot that was there. That's right. Food does not make sense to me. Radar dogs doo-doo on the floor of my newfound eat caca, freaky little dog, and smear your blood upon the floor of my newfound angst, anger, neuroses, psychic barriers, all confounded by my newfound arg. Why is this happening to me? I've not shut the big 8 since the last newfound. Free world economy, my ass, all part of the gosh darn corporate coffee shops everywhere. What's wrong with this stuff in the newfound social structure of Harley Davidsons and CVRs? Loud stereos and Kid Rock spouting his newfound bull crap, hard-ass lyrics everywhere, surrounding me like a bad neighborhood, but writing about music is cheesy, almost as cheesy as the newfound killer bees devouring my free thought, all because of society's newfound style.
Okay, thank you to Jason for bringing coffee to my home house from the tree. And I don't know what the opposite of a footnote is, but this is one of them. Haley is not a soccer player. Really. Haley is a Hawaiian goddess, the volcano goddess, who's vicious and loving all at once. And if you're going to read about her, you're likely to find Ends of sentences that go, so Haley killed him twice. So, just so you know, this doesn't have a title. Tonight, Haley stole up the moon. She turned it deep crimson. She abandoned Scorpio's scintillating heart to lean over Earth and lick the edge of every shadow, freeing them from eerie stillness. Tonight, Haley turned the moon deep crimson, and she turned my gaze with her fingertips to the sky so I could see even Haley can abandon her jealousy. She turned the moon from its gentle luminous silver to her own heated hue. She ceased her envy just one night to show the flare of the fire in her palm. Hi. This is a poem about early this summer. It's 98.6 degrees outside. The white of winter has warmed up to the rose and gold of summer. The sky blue is so bright it hurts the eyes, and the kids are sweating ice cream. It's 98.6 degrees inside, and the sheets are damp where we lie side by side. I want to lick the salt from your lips. I know you like the taste of the hand that feeds me. It's 98.6 degrees, where my heart beats against this cage, and I say, I love you. It gets cooler as you remain silent and the blood drains from my face.
This isn't as hip and funny as my last one. Not now either. It'll be. What? Okay, we'll move on. It's called Staring at the Stars in the Outdoor. Can't really do that. Water will get in your eyes. And it will suck. Harnessing my chi, I lost it when I was screaming about Destitute. Is this right? The only way of knowing if this was once upon a time my home is my heart torn. I remember you, how you looked, your hair always short, the consequence of your outfits, outlooks, your face, your internal crash course of love and strength attached. I love you, but I want you to have this, only this is yours as long as. I keep my coincidence as close to your fate as possible, but it was never fate or destiny, just choice, just chance. Just what you need, a sun that can take you away like the booze used to. Only now you could just scream it off on me and yell it off on me. Your love problems, I was too much baggage. Your finance, I know I cost so much. This is how it all works. You push with tooth, with nail. Through 17, only to feel as if I found 6 again and again. Every night, every morning, hiding under my covers, there are monsters in my closet. Under my bed, in the hallways, down the stairs, at my kitchen table. Snarling over Doral cigarettes and Folgers coffee. Over red velvet whiskey and Carlton's, over, it didn't matter, over your hatred of you, of me, of this world. Solutions arise as bottles, more cigarettes, lies, cover-ups, the inability to love yourself more than the inanimates of illusions. Controllable illusions that you could have stopped if only you could have I love you, period. I love me, period. I can change my world, period. This is the illusion of control. This is the illusion of comfort. Burning homes and worlds, arrivals, I remember each time I came there to that place, that building, my home. I risked a crash each time, always peeking, craning through the trees, breaking my neck, having to know if you were there first, if I could be alone and hear the rattle of transmission, of doors ajar. Slam, shut my life away to make room for yours. Poetry replaced with tears, love replaced with sadness. Futures replaced with God. You must be joking. Books replaced with bottles. My world was open to your suggestions. My heart was open to sudden change. My interests were open to your problems. I was in trouble because I had got caught trying to love you again. I had already lost interest in trying to love myself.
I can hear it, waiting in the distance, listening to hear if I'm listening. But I don't know what we're waiting for. It must be yesterday when the sky screamed yellow, but we only saw that one final blue flower fading in the depths of the dock, dusty and muddy and waiting for stories. But the clock won't tell me tonight. He's not speaking to me. He whispers bits of nothing, but he won't tell me what I really want to know. When we breathe screams as if something might be different this time. But it's not. I asked him not to ask me, but he always did, and he became a monster in this, and he became a nightmare memory, different than the one who told me the story is, different than the one who claimed to know my secrets, and different from the one that probably did. But the mystic missed the mark, even if it was only by a snail breath, and we kept waiting to see if time could change things. But time went out last night when I lied, like I always do, simply because I was too tired to tell the truth, and more simply because I knew they wouldn't hear it anyway. Besides, the truth was just a simplistic way of lying, and complications make the world go round, made them think they were so even though they died a million years ago and counted on the stars we watched, but we knew we'd forgotten and they knew too. We thought we'd win because we thought we'd change them all, for better or worse, for sickness or health, for everything and nothing. We would grab on and hold on until the wind caught fire and we really knew what it was like to burn. And I would die, feeling the ocean scrape my face raw, feeling the desert sway me for a zone, listening for one fleeting second to Shannon River falling past eternity as I fell with it. But maybe it was only subway cars and traffic and laid up on the small, drifting from his nostrils, feel through the position of the sun.
I was newfound perfection facing the world, except with tumor. That was expensive. I'd love to try this in the accent for which it was written, which is a Southern Baptist preacher from Georgia giving a sermon in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And I'm probably just going to fall into it anyway, so try. Believe me, this voice is real. It's called Far From God's View. We all file down our hearts with worry, hate, with distaste for the poor service and disgust for the jackal sneering whore. Even though we know all life brings and leaves upon our doors will be the baggage of cares, and not one of them dull, while some will be so suffering inside with sicknesses that we would rather want to see them slain, and none will bring a dish for you to wash your hands, nor will all be pure or beautiful.
This has every single word starts with the letter P except for two words, but I use the same word twice, so it's really fun. So it's like that good. It's really hard to say, so like everybody should try it and like write it down as I say it. Paisley pixies and perverted prostitutes presenting proposals in pink pantaloons promenade passively in perfect parallel proximity past Point Park. Paisley pixies and perverted prostitutes promenade. One more time. Paisley pixies and perverted prostitutes presenting proposals in pink pantaloons promenade passively in perfect parallel proximity past Point Park. Paisley pixies and perverted prostitutes presenting proposals in pink pantaloons promenade passively in perfect parallel proximity past Point Park. Paisley pixies and perverted prostitutes presenting proposals in pink pantaloons promenade passively in perfect parallel proximity past Point Park. Paisley pixies and perverted prostitutes
Great, you can't do it. Wait, read the first word.
Decent.
Second word. Dixie. Third.
And
How did that get there?
Two words.
this is Bland with the side of double bland, the raging torrent that is my blind mind conjures images so unknown to reality that I wake mumbling deliriously as the fever dreams dissipate, faster than borrowed money. And I slip into dementia. I rant away, 2 parts Benadryl, 1 part Nyquil, 10 espresso shots. And I become sharp as a laser. A fragmented thought is your best friend, and lucidity is your most powerful nemesis. Avoid him, fool, avoid him, or suffer immeasurable pain. Do not wish for wisdom, do not, and do not do. Do not wish at all. Eat, sleep, write, learn, and wait for pain. Did I say learn? Why would you want to do that? Hyperactive learners may seem lucid at times, but you know that crazed look in my eye? You've seen it before. You've seen it on the faces of infomercial men wearing question mark suits and in the characters of your worst nightmares. That look, yes, that one is the cure for boredom, the only chance for world peace. That crazed look is that look. Who could possibly think of world peace? It's just that crazy to think that dogs and cats and tall and short and homies and starving children and southerners and northerners and Canadians and French people could all be bricked up in a room for a day and all come out alive. That's insane, but that look, that crazed look can fix it all. If only everyone could try it, they would be different. People would line up to be the first kid on their block, to be bricked up with a Frenchman. They'd fight for it, they'd go nuts, because they would be nuts. That would be great.
What it's called on the second bus. Give that back. I want it all. My innocence, my confidence, everything woman that this parasite society is eaten out of me. Belief in magic, belief in an unaffiliated God, belief that humankind will become a star to guide the future, not a catalyst to its destruction. To take back your cynicism and send me and my ruby slippers back to Oz, and you can have your makeup and cosmopolitan ideals. You can keep the job I'm getting paid less for, 75 cents to every dollar, or has the ratio become smaller. And you can have your right-wing Republicans and your dismal statistics and your high heels and your selected constitution, and I'll pile my tight clothes and my flattened dreams at your polished shoes, and I'll run naked and light-shouldered and loving through fields at the edge of a place spinning in its own orbit around a much brighter.
This is a poem I wrote when I was 15, and I had hoped at the time that it would no longer be necessary. It's a poem about sexual assault. When it's happened to you once, that could be just random, crappy chance. But it happened to you twice, it begins to suggest a conspiracy. It's called Open Sea. Women hunted, deer in the forest. Crack of silence, loud and screaming, father to son. Shh, don't you understand? She doesn't know.
My name's Jason. I think we've established that about 30 times. Is that good? Everybody know my name? Andy. My name's Andy, and I'm here to read poetry. That's my name. Kid Jason here should be reading sometimes. It's been a while since I read this with a group of people, and I've made some adjustments. slightly long on my first experiments with the strophe format. Very, very while ago. Not the one that I'm writing now, but yeah. It was about a party that I was at on Powell Street in Shadyside. It was I think Brother Ben's house, and basically my whole entire thought of the night was to quickly, as fast as I can, just grab this entire party and throw it into the smallest amount of space possible. And it didn't turn out to be pretty small. Right. You guys can at least chuckle or something. Kind of a little bit of an angry film. They were all passing around drugs and they couldn't decide on which music that they wanted to listen to. Sort of poetry about it. Seems to be the best way to do anything, right? Where's the joke? Ginsberg's had us contemplating jazz since the start, whether we liked it or not. Reading Kerouac to achieve visions of Cassidy. For our reverent heartthrobs, for of course our reasons in junk. For fits, for whispers, for wine-drinking suck-off shadowing the backstorm cement crack house alleyways. Confusing music with pipes and pipes with Destitute. For Fort Myers, for New Orleans, the only place with what we need in this distant time. For automobiles, our bowels, our ducts, where last night's whiskey drops still bamboozle our exterior thrashing insides, whooping our mind, train of thought, our decision to be unhuman for a night, entices and grabs with an angry fist, who cared for a chair, or backyard hash, cigarettes, a taste of rot, and one too many underagers hitchhiking for the sake of getting snatched up by rapists and pedophiles, to squeeze in among the positivity, our reasons to be teens. Thinking the beats had the way, and they pulled us all the way down with their words, to the last strain of ink and blood, tears and injection, smoke and pacifism, tin cans and locomotives, backdash, flatbed trucks, pulling us to the fields of kegs and protagonists, magic tricks from hobos, flower sellers, cops who damn the concept of caring, children running wild up and down the streets, rapid drinks, mad poets, placid scenery, and the feeling of infinite. Drinking harsh whiskey as careless drunks, fast runners, dark hides, closets full of empty schooners, lusting fulfillment, love degrading, kids with guns, parents with broken dreams, the hearts once upon a time nearly unconsumed, no longer can scratch the surface of. Pollution sunsets, ubiquitous feeling of coked out, cracked up, malevolent lifestyles, punk rock solitude, gothic repose, a room full of black horoscopes, dark and desolate kisses, large men with an attitude for little things that breed apathetic, languid, and torpid passion. Never allowing possibility to become, smashing on codependent, losing touch with caring about the just might be's, idyllic repose, being adroit, in love with one another, but only in this room, round table in our culture. We are the knights, the kings, the guards, the warriors, because we are the writers. Our minds are our uniforms, and we serve the common customer with metaphors, analogies, with verbosity and literature. No curves on our roads of destination, just straight, smooth, bumpless, tree-lined, rancid stench back down topography, stretching longer each time we travel to the depths of our minds, the walls we build in our own heads, cutting the supply of mentality and consciousness only so we can write better poetry. Prodigy poet calling me Cassidy, we scramble back and forth, never letting 1 ounce of burrow slip from our grip. We must consume, take in, absorb, rip apart, care about, discomfiture, dialect, direction, decision. The blues rip the jazz into sequence, trance music and techno, hip-hop and punk rock, alternatine, and the statistics that tell us that music is no longer an art form, but a drug, a safe one that very few people take anymore. Angel and Devil, Billie Holiday and Miles Davis sit on our shoulders, screaming the past of Benny Goodman, Django Reinhardt, Bill Lanford, Ma Rainey, Farrah Hall, and whoever else we knew were gods. The drums and the pianos, the harps, the guitars, the bass, the violins, crash and desolate, and we sit back and judge the paucity of understanding, the reasons, our internal crash course, our cars, our smokes, and most importantly, us. We begin to breathe, slowly, want to savor the air, taken in and absorb the last ray of moonshine. We know a whole week must pass in torture until we gather and become friends again.
It wasn't broke, it was breaking. It wasn't lost, it was losing. The earth wasn't still, it was moving, alive with life that didn't know it was living. What is life like when you don't know you're dying? You used to be wild. They reminded me of a time when David Bowie sold the world for a handful of lucky pennies and a few luscious lavender lip gloss. And our innocence nothing more than a cup of coffee and a handful of stolen smokes. Now it's about poetry and scream on the street corners for sanity we wouldn't accept. I flushed at their beauty, the brash fluidity of the words they fed me, embarrassed by my own stuttering obsession and unresolved obesity. Our coffee shop decadence kept us lonely, but I drank tea and gave in to my skin on skin seduction without the reduction to alcohol or reason. I was just addicted to addiction, betrayed by track marks and chasing the dragon, but always sober and sedated and searching for something more.
This is just something simple written for my mother for Christmas. She gets about 2 poems a year. It's called The Iron Bars of Giving. I'm put in jail by Christmas by the things that people need. People who become lists of wants versus the things they already got, who must fall beyond the scope of gifting personal accountability. Lynn is a woman of shoes. She should get boxes full with baby red and black alligators, glossy, vicious infant snappers to kill and stick onto her toes. Gary is a man of music. He must have the unknown score by Shostakovich, the one that just doesn't exist. Perhaps I am to write it. Jesse is a borderland sort. He must get something, a wave below. So little can I afford. Fathers and brothers are expensive thoughts for weeks on end, positioned at the gifting core of things, wanting for nothing but deserving. For myself, I've forgotten to want for care. My mother just wishes I were there. She wants a gift of me in church beside her singing. I promised her a poem, a phone call, and someday when she's grown old, a respectable living.
My love for sweat. I'm bleeding from every hole in my body. It's great being stabbed by photons. So great. Clear skin lubrication. The sun pulls it out of me, you know. Like a cosmic siphon, wrenching my moisture from inside out. It hurts sometimes when I get crispy, but I love it.
And it probably could use more or a little less, but give it a try and see what happens. She could do it all. All, I say. The world bowed at her feet because she always had the idea. But she made it all better. She held you close, dried your tears, made cake, painted childhood on walls, took childhood from those with the soul because hers no longer existed. Chose the flowers in the living room, towels in the bathroom before it existed. Did my hair before dancing, smiled when you slid down the hill in your white suit that Easter, and then down the fifth, slept with him and him and him and him as I cried profusely during a torrential downpour, terrified she'd exceed in debt this time or last time, next time. She could do it all, or miss it all. All the poetic beauty the three of us have developed, the accomplishments we managed individually while sharing it all together. Never static, she antagonized the 100-mile radius. We needed her then, needed her love she used to give, but can now do without the love, or friendship, or whatever came in the form of MGD and miniskirt. Each day is another. When we cannot see, we manage to forget. And all the while, realizing it's better this way. And through you and me, there's a genuine love without consequences or bribery or what ifs. And between you and me, we can just do it all.
Yeah, just yell it. It's my IQ. When I was 4 years old, they showed me these pictures of three oranges in a pair. They said, which one is different? It does not belong. And they told me that different is wrong. When I was 13 years old, I woke up one morning and my thighs could be blood like war, like warning that I live in a breakable, takeable body, an ever available possible body, and that a woman had come in the night to replace me and deface me. You see, my body is borrowed. I got it on loan from the time between my mom and some maggots. I don't need anybody to hold me. I can hold my own. I've got highways from stretch marks. Do I have grown? I think sometimes like my life is at stake because you're only as loud as the noises you make. And learning to laugh as hard as I can listen to silence and violence and women and poor people. If more people were screaming than I, relax. But a good brain ain't silly if you don't have the facts. We can in a breakable, takeable world, an ever available possible world, and we can make music. Like we can make do, two geniuses in a backseat to nothing if you're dancing, especially something stupid, like IQ. For every lie I unlearn, I learn something new. I think sometimes in a war, in a fight, every tool is a weapon. Hold it right.
This is a poem called Creativity. I stand awed by every breath of the amazing that makes the air and earth that made me possible. I want to go to my knees and worship this sunset, this painting with slow fingers, the brilliance, the glory, my uplifted face, and the fallen leaves that, in their own right, are echoing gold and red and blazing. 10 perfect fingers, 10 perfect toes, her nails transparent, translucent, pearlescent, my littlest niece in my arms, an infant angel. I wonder where she was before she was born. Does the doe marvel too when she licks the white dapples of her new fawn? Is the first cell of life stare startled at its reproduction when it split for the first time? Tasting the paint on the tip of my tongue, I apply another stroke. Like procreation, this painting, I hope, is more than the sum of its parts. It's red and gold, a woman of flame, dancing with the means of her creation. Have I captured the fire? Do you think she may move when you turn your head? I can look at people, one face, for hours. 2 eyes, lips, ears, a nose, a mask of flawless skin. The body with broad shoulders, or narrow with the swell of 2 perfect breasts beneath. The belly fascinates me with the scar of its creation. The memory of a link to the mother and her mother and hers. In awe, I look at my own flat stomach as if it might wink at me. My own children will grow beneath this skin someday. Will I stare in the same fascination at the scar of their stomachs and cry for joy at the amazing?
That 2 kind of short poems. Good morning. My name's Jason. Glad to meet everybody. The first poem is called No, I'll Never Have Another Line. Read everything oddly. Arcane words scrawled on cement parchment. Neat poetry, not to arrest. I'm colorblind, so my coffee is green. Because I haven't added another line. The other one is called Raging Artists, just because it's a good poem. I don't know, I wrote it like a billion years ago. I like it. Have we discovered the most recent break in time? Shallow embankment and thin lines resort to arrogant betrayal. But I know I wait but seconds more to find sorrow, stark tears, dancing upon raging hearts as you lay the splendor upon us. And now, you were in the moonlight. Baby.
sit and I think and I cry for something I can't remember, tears trying to tear their way out, the facts hold back. Matters of consequence that could matter less and have no consequence, except to wreak havoc on the souls of the greedy nations whose only real sin is refusing to buy purity from the poorhouses you exploit under angry gray boxes, full of the product of nations' insanity. 5-year-olds in pink dresses shoot their parents in the middle of the night to say with five and phony, and you can proudly put stickers on the corpses flaring the drop of juvenile crime and say I'm crazy because I screamed in this library just for the hell of it. You broke down the words of truth behind the loopholes in the nation and turned around and said the founding fathers were wrong. How the hell could they be wrong with something they created a nightmare, test tube babies and political bleed, armed with needles and bleach and shoots in the back of your skull just because I said you were wrong, you slapped me in the face and told me to kiss it, so I said kiss this and shoved it at you. And now where am I? Lost in my dreams like I always was, and you say you win, well I say you're wrong. This is my world. Full of lies as it may be, it's mine. It's not like it matters. Nothing ever happens. Not because it won't, just because it doesn't.
Okay, I'm finally going to do relationship poetry. You can do this, everyone of you. You break up with someone and the one thing you like doing, it just gets ruined. And my last told me, but you'll write so much no. That just doesn't even matter anymore because everything you're feeling is like trying to watch TV and your mood is affecting the stations. And the controller just doesn't work and every program is exactly the same thing. You're trying to write and that's all you get. So that's what this is about. It's called The Ring. Having one feeling only is nothing to write about. It's a broken language, ashamed of its only one word. A monotone song rung from one same spoken note. A hobbled dance that turns and jerks in one small circle, incapable of ever ceasing. One feeling only, repeated by rote, wraps the heart around in its lonely shackle, the sound of each beat embracing. And the soul inside, chafed by that ring, wears forever the scar of its encompassing. One feeling only neither ends nor starts.
Untitled. Pop culture prostitutes permeating the Aryan Allied airwaves, reduced repeatedly our beaten, battered brains with worthless wants for material gain. This life is for losers, nature's intellectually neutered nincompoops, tricked by tenaciously taunting media into meandering around, trying to acquire trinkets of shiny status. Never really realizing the reality of it all, the true and full futility of an ever-adapting anthropod, master of mammals and pinnacle of progress, perched atop the food chain, devouring the competition without cognition of consequence. Before the beast of man was born, life existed to exist and recycle the cycle forever. Now life exists to be eaten out of a bucket by a balding man in an easy chair.
This is a real night, early in the spring. Wind and distance make the highway music. Horns warm up as the wind sings through the bridge. She's wishing she had someone to smile and share with. She's still checking, thumb to her finger, for a ring that's no longer there. She's sprinkling Old Spice on the mattress next to her, breathing as she sleeps the scent of someone who's not there. She waits his name on her lips. She leaves a kiss on a pillow where no head will rest. She's breathing hard, so she will try.
like New Orleans. I like it a lot. If anybody in this room has been to New Orleans, you understand why. And I don't have to say anything else more about it except for New Orleans rocks my world. That's why I'm moving there in 13 days. But no, this is a happy poem about an experience I had in New Orleans not too long ago. But there's 2 points behind this poem. I talk a lot about time and how it's ending and going quick. I had 3 minutes left on my break, and I wanted to write this. Wait a second. Make that 4 minutes left on my break. And I wanted to write this really, really quick, but I couldn't. And I was just scribbling really quick. I had a napkin in my car. And it's about New Orleans at the time I had. And nobody's really having sex on the washboard. It's just real simple. Beneath my feet, pressed the time, I think it's still in phone. 4 minutes left and counting. I remember the walks. Upon bourbon drunk, committed walks. Crying into her shoulder, crying into mine, reckless it was. Drunk as madness, going screaming as I let myself urinate from the backyards and broken buildings. Feeling the pressure of my first what I doing, I re-entered the soil. New Orleans remembrance, I wish so life I so bad there. Splashing around with the tooth, the sacks on the out on the washboard. Whatever it is we worry for, rest of our time perhaps, it's up.
That one was dedicated to Nikki.
Okay. Speaking of Jason is one of my best friends. Has been for quite a long time now, about 4 years. So I decided that we're going to use these 3 readings that we're doing. Each time read a different poem that I wrote about this time. This one is about a friend, the end of a relationship and how he brought me back from the badness that happens when it ended by he brought me back from the edge of love starting to stand, his voice burning images in my soul, as we lay together under bleach-stained skies with black velvet roses and forgotten tears. A million nights of passion spiraled through eternity as you touched the flesh of my wings and you fell into another song of suicide. Where do you get your words from, I asked, faintly whispered the voice in my head, stories of a moment, a time, when everything was fantasy and flipping through the hourglass, we found the east end of life again, sanctified in stone words and simple gestures, under the eyes of the 7 angels. He was always the 8, he was always my everything, my nothing, my taste of perfection on the edge of desperation. His face, too beautiful for the world of our obscurity, broke every time we found ourselves wasted in this place. Made complete in the fluffy kisses and uneducated ropes of the child that we had idolized. Such a sad execution of grace, our beauty stretched the limits, and I found myself stranded with a truth I could not comprehend, as Morpheus took up stand from the dark side of the moon again.
Would John Lambert please report to the cafeteria? John Lambert, please report to the cafeteria. That didn't work. Ready, your next one. Oh, there you are. What are you doing sitting there? Look at you. Oh, let's get serious. That even standing there.
It's simple, it's about life. At least the way I perceived it in a woman's stare. It's a poem about a photograph. It's called Robin. Life is remarkable in her ability to render pain. She makes us think about things which hurt in our free time and question why our vanity must always cover it. Life will taunt what she should love and make light of the problem when she should blunt at it. She laughs as we start crying, for she'll see us at the brink before it's through. Worst of all, she's rude, but she's beauty too, that's certain.
wasting time making rhymes, flirtatiously gawking at girls who are mocking me? How dare I think I have a chance? How dare she think I'd ask her to dance? Time after time, that repeats, turned out by the ones I want to hit the streets. This one's about people playing board games. Today's tawdry Trivial Pursuit Palisades will without a doubt become the memories most mocked by our convoluted children. Board games belittling our brains with boredom, spelled B-O-A-R-D-O-M. Sitting silently, continuously contemplating the next futile move, meandering about motionlessly, celebrating victory idly. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we're the Pittsburgh Clubcast Poets. If you have poetry, if you write or would like to start writing, if you have inspiration you wish to share, if you have things that you'd like to have criticized or just praised because it sounds really neat, if you've got candy in your head that you want to share with all the other kids, come to the Carnegie Library in Squirrel Hill Friday nights from 6 to 9 p.m. in the courtyard. So, that's it. Have a nice night. Thank you.
Yeah.